Your turn, love.
Thank you very much. So, good morning, ladies. Let's close our eyes and let's imagine that we've gathered a circle in the snow. We've got on all of our warm woolies and our hat and our gloves and our scarves, but we're out in that stillness of the snow. And we've gathered a circle of women, our women that are on this call, and women beyond this call. And we've grasped hands. We're standing in the circle. And perhaps there's a fire pit in the middle of our circle in the snow. We have a fire pit, so there's warmth. And just the crackling of the fire popping and the silence of the snow, that's all that we can hear. And we're so appreciative of one another, of showing up and gathering, being present. And we feel an opening, a heart opening, a flooding out of appreciation and love and acceptance and gratitude that we have a circle to join and a place to go. And feeling the energy and the presence of the women in the circle. Women from all different backgrounds and all different experiences and all different ages, bringing their wisdom to the circle. And the circle's getting larger, women gathering and joining from all over. Your friends and your family and your acquaintances, well beyond the women that are just on this call. You can feel the energy of the women circling around this beautiful gathering in the snow with this roaring fire in the center of our circle. And we just appreciate the silence and the sweetness of gathering. And we give the woman on both sides of us her hand a squeeze, just to remind her that you're there, your presence.
And then we let go of her hand on either side. And we bring our hands into prayer pose. And we bow to each woman in the circle and to all those around us. And we bow to our own heart. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mitroma Amritangamaya Aum Shanti Shanti Shanti. Inhale deeply, suspend your breath. And exhale. And we gently open our eyes. We keep the heels of our hands connected. This will be my inhalation. Exhalation, I push out to the side, my palms facing outward. It's inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Really hit the heels of your hands and press out. Open your heart center very consciously. There's a slight arch in your mid spine, upper spine. Last 10. Inhale and hold your arms out. Make a fist, thumb inside, and rotate your arms backwards. Have an emphasis on your exhalation. Last 10. Inhale and hold the arms out, palms facing upward. Long deep breath. Just hold the arm up. And hold them up, parallel to the floor. Breathe in through and out of your heart, your lungs, consciously. Good. Now slowly bring your palms so that they're facing forward, your elbows are at your rib cage. Inhale, bring your left palm forward so you're extending your left arm. Right elbow goes back and you look over your right shoulder. That's your inhale. On the exhale, your right palm moves forward, your left elbow goes back, and you look over your left shoulder. It's like inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Push, pull. Make sure you take your head with you, that you really look over your shoulder. Also twisting your torso. Strong push, pull. Good, and then we come to center. We inhale, we bring our elbows back. We're arching our chest region. And exhale, interlace your fingers. Palms facing outward. Extend your arms so they are parallel to the floor. That's your inhale. Exhale, have the back of your hands move towards your chest. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. The heart is the mediator between the upper and the lower triangle in our body. Yes, it's always said that we can heal everything in the lower triangle through working with the heart, as well as with the upper triangle. Inhale, extend your arms. And exhale, relax your hands onto your knees, palms facing upward. Long, deep breathing. And then Nirmala will take it from here.
Thank you, Siddhi. Welcome, ladies. So today, we're going to talk about energy or our life force. It's as we're on this spiritual journey and we're practicing and studying and trying to be present and in awareness and observing ourselves, witness to ourselves, one of the one of the ways that we can be more intuitive about ourselves is to be very cognizant and aware of our life force energy and how it's moving through our body and where it might be uh, sluggish or stuck. So there, it changes. Our life force energy changes from moment to moment and from situation to situation. But the energy that I'm talking about is both the physical energy that's inside of this embodiment of a form that we call our body, and also the non-visible or not so visible energy that's in our energetic formlessness. And the life force is the combination of both what's happening in our body through our organs and our nerves and our blood and the system that's the physiological system. And it's also the energetic system that's happening. And it's the weaving together of these two systems that gives us the vitality that we're talking about wanting. All the life force energy is referred to as many things by many names in different cultures. You'll hear chi in the Chinese or Tibetan and prana in the Indian. In the West, we follow it through our electrical pulses to our head and to our brain, to our heart and our brain. But this information is really important to us because disease begins in our energetic or subtle body and it moves into the physical body. So by the time you have something going on, an ailment happening in your physical body, it's already passed through several layers. So we have the opportunity to be in awareness of the healthful and the level of health that we have in our energetic to help us to take care of disease before it becomes something chronic. Because we are endeavoring towards a level of health in ourselves through our practices and through the way that we're showing up in the world, this is a really useful sort of a template to look at in terms of how can I judge my health. And so I want to talk about the way that energy is working in and around our body. So first, we have two real energetic systems. One is the system that is our physical body, and then what extends beyond our physical body. There's 7 layers of energy that are sometimes called our aura that extend beyond our physical body. And we'll talk about all of those different layers and what they relate to. And then there's an energetic system inside our body, which in the Indian vernacular we call chakras, spinning centers of energy. And there's 7 of those as well. That's also referred to as meridians in the Chinese medicine wheel. The general energies are similar in how the different systems look at them, different cultures and different traditions look at them. They'll just have different names and they may be slightly oriented a little differently, but the overlap and the similarities are more than the differences. So let's start first with the energy levels that move out from our body. I call those energy layers versus the centers that happen inside of our body. So the energy layers that go from the grossest or densest energetically, our body is the most dense, obviously, because it's solid. And then moving out from the body, there are 7 different layers. The first layer is our etheric body. And the etheric body has the lowest vibration of these energetic vibrational layers because it's closest to the body. And it is actually, if you're with a therapist or with somebody who's trained in therapy, more emotional therapy, they'll be likely to be reading your etheric body. They'll be feeling your emotions and they'll be hearing what you're saying, of course, but they'll be feeling your emotions and your body language and just slightly more subtle expressions of what's going on for you than what's happening verbally. The areas of treatment that can deal with the etheric body are acupuncture, Reiki, Qigong. Those are therapies that work just on that etheric body that's just outside of your physical body. The second layer energetic body is the emotional body. And this is the body that dictates our feelings and our how we might be speaking about what's happening for us. This is the area that changes colors. This is the layer that changes colors. So when someone says, oh, I see you as an aura, you're blue or you're yellow or you're whatever, they're seeing the emotional body. And the way that you can see that your emotional body is disturbed is that you'll find that you're having outbreaks with people, arguments, even small, just disruptions when you're interacting. You might be experiencing some level of anxiety or depression, or just outbursts that you're just finding. Lois was mentioning this morning in our check-in that she had a situation where she noticed that something was rising in her that sort of surprised her. When we see things coming from nowhere that are coming emotionally out of us, it's usually happening on this level, on our emotional energy body. The third layer is our mental body. And this is where all of our thoughts and mental processes are occurring. This is where our imagination lies, our memory, where we keep information when we're storing information. And the fourth layer is our astral body. And this is the bridge between the physical body and the spiritual realm. So this is when Siddhi was referring to the heart and having the heart be the bridge between our lower triangle and our upper triangle, or our more rooted, grounded in physicality versus our more air, light upper triangle. The astral body is that bridge for us. And so we all want to be very cognizant of that, because we're trying to integrate both the groundedness of being in this embodied form and the lightness of connecting with the divine. So we want the two of those to come together. So this fifth layer, each layer as we move away from the body becomes more subtle. The frequency can become higher if we work on that, if we're practicing our meditation and chanting. But the subtlety of it, it's more difficult for somebody to see who's not really trained in that. We're working in the subtle realms. And the etheric body is the fifth layer to our layers as we're working out. The etheric body is the blueprint for our physical body. So this is an important one, because this is what we consider is taken on for those who understand and are attuned to the reincarnation concept. This is where we keep the blueprint for what we carry into the next body. So this is happening in the fifth layer, the etheric layer. Our physical body is carried in like a blueprint, and it carries all of the emotions and the lessons and the maybe the unfinished business that we have from this life. So if people will say, well, how, when you are reincarnated, how do you bring all of that information with you? How is it that your body has these same issues to deal with that you have when someone will say, well, from a past life, you're bringing this. How do we bring that? We bring that through our etheric body, our etheric template body. The sixth layer, as we're moving out away from our body, is the celestial body. And this is what connects us to the divine. This is happening through our heart chakra. So our sixth layer connects through our heart chakra, and it allows us to have a level of awareness and connectedness that aligns us with the universe. This is the part of our vibrational and our energetic body that vibrates at the frequency of bliss, joy, unconditional love. And this body is in the spiritual realm. So it's moved out of any of the physical realms that we're dealing with in just our movements around day to day. This is happening in a very subtle realm, but it's really in the spiritual world, happening in the spiritual realm. And the seventh layer is our causal body. And this is sometimes described as our soul. It contains the information of all of the lower body, as well as the knowledge that we are one with the divine. So this is the piece that's telling us that we're part of the whole and part of the divinity, but we also are carrying all of the information that we've gathered in this embodied form. As I said, as these layers move away from our body, they become more subtle. And so our goal is to keep these clean, to keep all of these layers as clean and as free flowing, and the frequency of these layers as high as possible. So today, Laura Perry mentioned that there are studies that are being done that meditation is giving a length to our mental capacity. So our brain life, we actually have longer brain life. We are younger in how our brain is working as we age. Of course, we are aging, we age, but our brains have a capacity to stay youthful if we practice with them. This is the same thing with our vibration. If we work on the vibrational aspect of our system, we're able to keep a vitality and an aliveness and a health, a wellness in our physical body because we've tended to our energetic body. So if disease and disruption starts in our energetic body and works its way into the denser physical body, we want to catch things when they're in the vibrational system rather than waiting for them to get into our physical body. So starting to get in touch with those layers is very helpful for our overall health and well-being. And then inside of our body, we have energy centers, which in the Indian tradition we call chakras. And these are spinning circles of energy where energy has collected. It's almost like a hub. We have hubs of energy that are happening throughout our body. We have channels of energy. We have nadis. We have 72,000 nadis, which are just energetic channels like you would have blood vessels or veins. It's though the blood vessels or veins of the energy are called nadis. And this energy is coming up and down and throughout our body. All the time we're passing energy and information through our body through these energetic channels. And keeping those channels open and free flowing is our goal. Those channels culminate or gather in these hubs, these 7 hubs that are throughout our body. And each of these centers, these chakras, have influence over different aspects of our being. So this is an interesting way for us to keep track of our emotional well-being. We can tell by which of these centers is off base, how it is that we're being impacted, and maybe where we want to look at our life a little more carefully with respect to what's happening to us and to explore. So being in awareness of what's happening in these chakras can lead us towards optimal health. We want to see really free, flowing, strong, vibrant energy coming through these chakras at all times. In truth, we count just 7 of these chakras in our body because these are the main hubs that are happening of the energetic centers. But in truth, we have 114 chakras in our body, smaller, more delicate, or more subtle chakras. The 7 are the main ones that most people will talk about when they're speaking of chakras. And we also have 5 chakras that are outside of our body that are connecting us to the subtle realms or to the more spiritual realms. They're not inside the physical body. So the first chakra that we're going to talk about is our root chakra. It's called the Muladhara, and it sits at the base of your spine, and it represents foundation, grounding, stability. When it is open, we feel confident with our ability to withstand challenges and change. We feel solid and connected to the truth of what we understand as where we sit in the world, what our job is, how our viewpoint out on the world. We feel this just a groundedness. So if you're feeling off center and feeling like you get pushed easily, if just by a circumstance you're getting thrown off a bit by things, and you can feel it in your body, you feel top heavy, maybe you're just not feeling centered and grounded, you'll want to take a look at exercises and meditations and other spiritual practices that root you. Yoga, many of the yoga poses are specifically aimed at getting us connected to our root chakra. I'll post all of this information on the toolbox because there are also colors associated with each of these chakras. The frequency of the chakra creates a sound and a color and information that you could tap into if you wanted to secure or develop or heighten that chakra to support that chakra. So I won't go through each of the chakras in that detail, but we'll have it on the toolbox if you'd like to look at it. For instance, just to as an example for the root chakra, the color is red. and the element is earth. And there's a yoga pose that's associated with it, the warrior one. And this is the chakra. This chakra develops when we're young. This is where we develop our sense of security, and why it's so important when we're raising children to really ground them in those early years with a sense of who they are. That groundedness is what you take into the rest of your life. The second chakra is our sacral chakra, Swadhisthana. This is the chakra that's related to our emotions and to the emotions of others. It governs our creativity, our sense of abundance, well-being, pleasure, and our sexuality. A blocked sacral chakra can make you feel like you have a lack of control in your life. It's located in the lower abdomen, about 2 inches below your navel. And the color associated with the sacral chakra is orange. The third chakra is our solar plexus, so right in your gut, the Manipura. And this is the chakra that gives us the ability to speak with confidence and to be in control of our life. If this is blocked, we feel a lot of shame or self-doubt. We don't feel that we have the capacity as an internal process of who we are to offer ourselves into the world. Those with open sacral chakras feel very free to express the truth of their voice, to be able to really say what they think into the world. This is a really important chakra. This is the chakra that people who work with semantics will say often, the first place you'll feel you're being threatened is in your solar plexus. So you'll feel in your gut something happening. They'll say, you felt like you were kicked in your gut. When somebody is speaking to you in a way that's diminishing you, and you're feeling that you can't grasp your whole self-worth, you'll feel it in your solar plexus. The fourth chakra is our heart chakra, and this is called the Anahata. Now, obviously, you know where that is, where that one is. And that is the bridge, as Siddhi had mentioned, the bridge to our upper chakras, the 3 upper chakras and the 3 lower chakras. So the lower chakras are considered the ones that are most connected to our physicality and the material world. And the 3 upper chakras are most connected with spirituality or with our God divine contact. And the heart chakra is the one that connects the two. So the voice that comes from us, if we want our voice to be in its fullness of both the way that we're living into the world and how we're also associating ourselves and connecting ourselves to the higher world, we want to be in both those realms. We're here. We're not just in the spiritual world or just in the physical world. We're in both. We are bridges to those 2 worlds. We are. And our body, our heart is. So the heart really needs to be tended for so many different reasons, but primarily because it's integrating us to our wholeness. It's allowing us to have all the pieces brought together. So tending your heart is a really, really important health from our emotional health, very important. The 5th chakra is our throat chakra, Vishuddha, and this is what controls our ability to communicate our truth and our power. When it's functioning in its heightened and intact way, we're expressing ourselves very clearly. We're articulate, we're honest, we're clear. We say what we need to say in a beautiful, soft, and graceful way, but we're very honest about what needs to be said and what needs to be shared. When it's blocked, we have trouble finding words and saying what it is that we really feel. This is a very common blockage for women, very common, that we don't speak our truth. So if you find that you're not speaking your truth and you have trouble saying what really is important to you, a place to look at is the energy flowing clearly and strongly through my throat chakra? And there are exercises and yoga poses and mantras and practices that we can do to help open and to support the throat chakra, just as we have for all chakras, but really important for women to look at. The 6th chakra is the 3rd eye, the Anja. It is the eye to the soul. Many people say it's the eye to the soul. So this is the place where we can start communicating with the divine, and it's our intuitive center where we're seeing and knowing what is happening without actually seeing it. So it's that unseen eye, but the eye that sees the unseen. This is really important because it allows us to see the big picture of what's happening. So if you're having intuitive moments, you're recognizing things before they happen, you're sensing things before they happen. You have just an overall sense of being in balance with everything. You're really in sync with the universe. You're probably really operating a lot out of your third eye. Ultimately, that's our goal, is to integrate the vision and the sight from our third eye. That gives us all of the intuitive and the deeper connection that we want to have. And the seventh is a seventh chakra in our body is our crown chakra, Sahasrara. It is actually the open, when babies are born and they have the open spot on the top of their head where they're still, it hasn't, the soft spot that hasn't quite closed. They say that that soft spot was your connection to the divine. And when you come back into the body, that connection has to be protected. So your body naturally closes off that softness from your infancy as you're maturing. But this is the place where we're fully connected to our spiritual journey. And this is a beautiful, beautiful place to be working out of. Not too many people get to spend a lot of time in that chakra, but that of course is our goal. So those are the 7 energy centers that are in our body, and the 7 energy levels that are coming from our body and going into the world. And we'll spend more time on those, but it's important for us to be aware of those centers and those layers so that we can be more subtle and how we're understanding how our whole system is working and how it is that we're showing up in the world and how we're taking care of ourselves. So we'll spend more time on that, but Siddhi has something really beautiful to share with us first.
Thank you, Nirmala. Yeah, and I think it's really important to know, like if one of our energy centers, one of the chakras is slightly off, it really impacts all the others. So they're so interconnected. So that's why it's so important to really attune every day and make sure we are in alignment in all, these centers. And sometimes we just don't have the opportunity to go outside and sit on the earth to strengthen our earth element or go to the ocean, or, it's not accessible. But what we have accessible to us are our hands and our sound system. Yeah, and every chakra within us has a sound that's associated with it. And then our hands, can help us to connect to these centers too. So that's what I would like to introduce this morning to all of you. And so it just takes a little bit time, so be patient with yourself. But for example, you feel unsettled, you feel scattered. You could just have the tip of your thumb touch the tip of your ring finger, and you would just sit like this. And if you would add the sound lam, L-A-M, you would bring energy into your first energy center. And I want you to look at the first energy center, that it starts at the soles of your feet, goes through your legs, all the way into your perineum and sacrum. Yes, and then you go like lam, lam, lam. And the sound and the mudra can really bring you in touch with your center of grounding and belonging. Then if the second energy center, if we feel very emotional, you want to own your emotions. It's always important that we are not owned by them, which happens for all of us in between, but we want to come back and own them. Then you can, you take this mudra, you bring all your fingers inside except index and thumb, and you place this mudra onto your second energy center. And here you close your eyes and you can go like, with the sound, the Biji mantra, VAM, V-A-M, VAM, VAM, VAM. And bring harmony into the center. For the third energy center, like Nirmala said, that's a really important center. And for most people, this is right now totally off balance. And we see that in the world. Yeah, we see a lot of aggression, domination, how people speak in our politics, you hear it's like, wow. So the third center is pretty much off for a lot of people. So, but we want to balance this because this center is really there to be of service to humanity, not to dominate humanity. Yeah. So, and to bring this center into harmony, you bring your hands into prayer pose, but your fingertips pointing forward. And we use the sound Ram, R-A-M. Ram, Ram, Ram. And then we rise higher into the heart. And I want to just make one thing very clear. The lower triangle, first, second, and third, is there to be of service to the upper one. If the upper one is of service to the lower one, we are in confusion. Yeah. So the trust, the fluidity, and the fire is needed, to come from our heart, to live from our heart, to speak our truth, and to follow our intuition, and to be connected. So we always need to move this way. We also can bring energy down, but we explain that at a different time. So the heart, we always go into the lotus. So at the lotus, like in the beginning of our session, the heels of your hands touch, the tip of your thumbs, the side of your thumbs, and the pinky tips touch. And all the other fingers are really extended. And we use the sound Yam, Y-A-M. Yam, Yam, Yam. And coming to the throat center, let me show you how the mudra looks from the other side. I bend all my fingers down, as much as I can. And then the knuckles touch in front and the tip of my thumbs. And you bring your arms up so that they're parallel. And this mudra is in front of your throat center. So sometimes you see the mudra like this. This is your choice. You can extend your fingers. I like to bring my fingers into my palms. And then here's the sound hum. This is a great mudra actually for thyroid issues. Yeah. H-A-M. Hum. 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 For the center of our intuition, we bring our hands back to prayer pose, but this time the fingertips pointing up. Yeah. And I'm not touching my third eye. I keep my hands just like half an inch away from my forehead. And the sound is Om. Inhale. Om. 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 Our crown, and I connect the crown now with our auric field, with our 8th chakra. Yeah, so with the crown we go like hum, interlacing our fingers. We go from hum into sham and bring our arms around. We make it one movement. Yeah, so we go from hum, sham, hum, sham, hum, sham. Good, and now we connect this all, bring it all together, and just please know that there are different schools of yogas with different sounds, so don't be irritated. This is just one school of thought. So we start and we will repeat 3 times each sound. So we start with our first chakra. The tip of the thumb goes to the tip of your ring finger. All the other 3 fingers are straight. We start with Lam, connecting to the earth. Lam. 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 We bend all fingers into our palm except index and thumbs, creating the triangle for Vam. 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 Ram for our solar plexus. Ram. 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 Yam for our heart. Yam. 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 Hum. 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 Om. 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 Interlacing your hands on top. Hum. Sham. Hum. Sham. Hum. Sham. We do one more round. Lam. 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 Vam. 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 Ram. 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 Yam. 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 Hum. 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 Om. 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 Hum. Sham. Hum. Sham. Hum. Sham. And then rest your hands onto your knees, palms facing upward. And just consciously connect to your perineum. Bring your awareness 3/4 of an inch below your belly button. Bring your awareness into your solar plexus. And into your heart. Into your throat center. And into your third eye. And connect to the crown of your head. And then feel into this auric field around you. And just see light in front of you, behind you, light at your left, light at your right, light above you, light below you, and light in you. Light in your surroundings. And send this light to all. Send this light around our earth. And send this light into the universe. And then we gently bring our palms together. And we're closing our session with Aum Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Aum Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Nirmala, and I wish you a wonderful, peaceful week. And hopefully you're in touch with all your energy centers. We see you next week. Lots of love to all of you. Let me stop my recording.